From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of evenings, LA, with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. As Sanders' office, the senator who leads the Budget Reconciliation Senate Committee, says it's being done. A fourth stimulus check in a world exclusive you're going to hear nowhere else across the land, only on LALATE. Viewer after viewer after viewer after viewer confirmed there will be a fourth stimulus check. What I have been reporting for months on this channel, the details coming up in this recording. Then we cut to the incredible details of the reconciliation budget bill. The first 645 pages released, and there are a lot of checks in there. Hazard pay is back on, baby, a lifetime. Then $4,000 to care for senior, $4,000 to care for child. Money to go back to college. Also, upwards of money to buy a bike, buy a vehicle for personal use, and more. I have all the incredible details in the first 645 pages release. Then we cut to cluster number 2, a big cluster of checks, no less than 12 of them, including money to fix your home. Then we go into the final cluster and money for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and workers, and also seniors. All this deliciousness, and then a big surprise across the board that no one saw come in with this. A potential to put SS200 in the fourth stimulus recon. And then, of course, the one that captivated a country yesterday, as $15 billion is being given to your cities and counties and states for more money for third stimulus. It's a big evening. There's a lot happening, and the world exclusive that you're getting a fourth stimulus check. Here we go as we start the exciting details, starting right now on Evenings LA. Good evening, everybody. It's a beautiful day across the board, and thank you for joining me on a big night of Evenings LA. I'm with you in Santa Monica, California, where the weather has dropped and it has gotten very cold early. But not so cold is the money for your stimulus. In a world exclusive which started on this channel nearly 8 weeks ago, I told you you're going to get a fourth stimulus check because the Democrats said they're doing it. Now, viewer after viewer after viewer, all day long, all night long, over the last 24 hours, getting a confirmation there will be a fourth stimulus check. I have all the incredible details in this recording. Then we cut to the reconciliation budget bill that has 645 other checks in there for hazard pay, for you, for bikes, for vehicles, for free education. Oh my goodness. Then we go into cluster number 2, the next set of checks that they're finally finalizing for addition into the reconciliation bill. A lot of money, including money for workers and also weatherization of your home. Then we go into the final cluster as we see money for free internet, prescription medication, free money for dental, vision, and more. It's a big night, and guess what? An additional $13 billion for third stimulus. Wow. This is Evenings LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. And once again, we're on the cusp of making history. This channel got you that second stimulus check as a Purple Power community push to get a second stimulus check in the second stimulus recon. And now you see what you, the Purple Power, have done again. Getting the promises from the number one guy in the number one committee to give you a fourth stimulus IRS check. So subscribe. This is the best and only community like this in the globe. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Thank you for the last 3 days being our biggest viewership of this channel in nearly 3 months for a reason. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's get to the details, starting right now. Let's start with the Bernie news. Let's start with it. I mean, at this point, I have been telling you this world exclusive for nearly over 7 weeks. It started with WR and Chris Coon saying there's going to be a stimulus check. Then it continued with Brother Joshua, with Bernie saying he's going to give you an IRS stimulus check. But now We're getting confirmation on the hour from the viewers of the channel. It started 2 days ago with Donnie. Then it continued last night with Hurricane Tina. It continued this morning on morning's countdown with Caroline. It continued minutes ago earlier today at 1 o'clock on the afternoon show with Lori Silver. And then the details continue. I'll have more about this exciting details, but first let's get into that reconciliation budget bill. The first 645 pages have been released, and it's all checks for you and the American people. Checks like hazard pay, checks to 10 for a senior, checks for going back to school, checks for vehicles, checks for bicycles, and more. Let's go over the details of those checks starting right now. And yes, there's MSCs in there as well. $51,000 of them over 18 years. Wow. Get that pen and paper ready. Get ready to take notes, because all this will be your potential checks to get of MSCs, multiple stimulus checks, as soon as this becomes a law. Here are the checks. First, we start with hazard pay. Hazard pay is back on, baby, and in a big way. It was part of the third stimulus reconciliation bill, and now it is a finality, because guess what they did? They got it into fourth stimulus. What do? They're making the third stimulus hazard pay a lifetime. The important thing to understand about fourth stimulus reconciliation, it has nothing to do with COVID. It's just a lifetime change to the way they're doing the laws in this country. So what is this hazard pay going to be? It's going to be money for workers who work as essential workers at any time as part of the Earned Income Tax Credit. What happened? Under third stimulus, they modified an old tax code called the Earned Income Tax Credit to make more people eligible by raising the eligibility and expanding the qualification so more people could fall within the threshold. Then they also increased the payout across the board. But third stimulus was only temporary, and now they're making this a lifetime. So yes, if you're an essential worker and you work in an essential worker workplace anytime in the next few years, this will be you if you fall within that threshold. Incredible. The big surprise was $4,000 to care for a senior per year. Wow. Representative Richard Neal, head of the House Ways and Means Committee, put this in. If you care for a senior, you can get upwards of $4,000 paid to you as a tax credit starting in this fourth stimulus recon per year. And guess what? They're also doing the reverse of that. If you care for a young child, then you can get upwards of $4,000 a year as well. The excitement continues with fixing up your home. There is money provided in here, incentives if you want to rehab or fix up a home if it's in a low-income community. How about my college students? Money for you as well. There's grants in there. Grants for college students who are currently at college. There'll be grants in there by expanding the Pell's grant to make it tax-free, giving you new grants and also grants from your institution of choice. And then what about $51,000 of MSCs? Yes. Monthly stimulus checks over 18 years to a household that's low income are going to be happening. They're going to be expanding the third stimulus child credit and making it a lifetime under the tax code. How will this work? If you're a parent in a low-income family, and that low-income family is anytime continues to be low income over the next 18 years of that child's life, you will get paid upwards of $300 a month per child every month for 18 years. That's $51,000 per child. How about some money for bicycles and cars and trucks? Yes. If you want to buy a new bike for personal use, the federal government will give you up to 15% for that electric vehicle. Electric bike, sorry. That's confusing. Bike, electric vehicle. No, 15% to buy that electric bike. How about a vehicle? Yes, if you want to buy a new electric vehicle, even for personal use, the federal government will pay you up to $7,500 for that electric vehicle, provided it's from a major 3 U.S. auto manufacturer. They're also still working to add Tesla and the foreign imports to the list as well. An electric vehicle for personal use, an electric vehicle for business use, an electric vehicle for truck for business use as well. They're proposing to get that in there as well. They're working on that language additionally. A lot of incredible details across the board. And no one saw some of these items coming, like the $4,000 for that child, for the caring for the elderly per year. A lot of these things were big shockers, but there you go. That is the first 645 pages of what will be a bill that will be upwards of 8,000 pages of checks for you. How did they get to these 645 pages? They got to these 645 pages by agreeing House and Senate Democrats on these provisions. How? Not in person. Not in person on the congressional floor, but rather behind closed doors, in private meetings, on the phone, not on television, not on C-SPAN, not on congressional floors, but talking about it and saying, I agree to it. Go write it up. And as they wrote it up, 645 pages agreed to. Now, how about cluster number 2? There's another cluster. Let's get to the details of this starting right now. Cluster number 2 is an additional 12 checks that the Democrats have been talking about daily. And these 12 checks are incredible. Cluster number 3, which I'm going to get to shortly thereafter, are checks the president has said, I went in there as well. And that is not the end of the clusters either. So here's cluster number 2. These are checks that the Democrats are talking about daily. We believe that these will be written up in bill format in the next few hours or days. And all they're going over now is the terms and conditions. Number 1, expansion of paid and family and medical leave. What is this? Remember, forced stimulus is not about COVID. It's just about the society as a general over the next 20, 30 years. And family leave is if you have to stay home because your family member is pregnant, for example. Or medical leave is, for example, you have to stay home because your child broke his leg. Family leave, medical leave, paid on a weekly basis by the federal government to your employer to pay to you. How much does it pay? A fortune. Under third stimulus, they had proposed the following calculations. $1,700 a week for anyone who makes over $71,000 a year. But hold up, if you make less, this is how it calculates out. Split it in half. Let's say you make $30,000 a year. Then it says $1,700, then it's $800 a week. Let's say you make even less than that. Split it in half again. Let's say you make $15,000 a year. Then that would be $400 a week for every week you have to stay home from work because, for example, your spouse is pregnant, or, for example, your child has a broken leg. That is paid family and medical leave. Incredible. Then we go to the next one. Build up of child care programs. Number 3, increase in household tax credits. Number 4, Medicare benefits. This is for seniors. More Medicare benefits, including reducing the eligibility age, adding checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing, and this is in cluster number 3 as well. And then weatherization of your home. Wow. This is the second home stimulus that I'm covering so far already in this video. Yes, the first 645 pages had money to repair your home in a low-income community, but also they have weatherization of your home as a second cluster of items. This is, for example, you're in a hurricane area or a tornado area or an area that's prone to wildfires. They'll give you money to weatherize your home so you can sustain certain natural events. Huge. Then how about some education? Free pre-kindergarten nationwide. So if you have a child, you have to send them to pre-kindergarten, it'll be totally free. And the next one I particularly love. It's free community college. You don't have to get a degree. You just have to go back, if you want to go back to community college. Because every time you watch that LA, he has a strange accent. I don't understand what he's saying. I'm enrolling in my local community college to take What the World is LA Saying 101. I'm talking French. You don't understand me? They teach French there. So it's French to you? No, now it'll be translated to you. So they have those free community colleges so you can learn what the world is LA talking about, 101. There you go. Also, money for green energy and transportation. More about that a little bit later. But the next cluster has money for seniors, money for workers, SSI and SSDI. Lots of money. But boy, the excitement is far from over because third stimulus came out of nowhere with a big cash infusion 24 hours ago. Let's cut over to the third stimulus for just a second. What is third stimulus? That's the package that passed earlier this year. The money for rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance. Those of you who are on Afternoons LA Today who said, there's no money in my state. I said, please don't say that anymore because that ended yesterday. $13 billion is being sent out to every single state across the country and county. So yes, if your county or state was out of money, it won't be out of money anymore. This cash infusion is replenishing their funds so they can pay it out. What's at issue? Third stimulus did give money to your cities, counties, and states, as detailed on this channel extensively, for rent, utilities, and food. And that money was supposed to be a total of $67 billion, but they sent it out in stages. Stage 1 was $25 billion, then $8 billion. Well, some counties and states did run out of money, so Treasury sent out the final $13 billion starting yesterday. This is huge. Treasury is happy to provide these state and local governments programs with additional resources to support Americans in need of rental assistance. Yes, this is additional infusion of cash for your city, county, and state for rent, utility, and mortgage assistance. More about that in a second. But let's turn back to the excitement that you want to know about and it's only on this channel. I just sort of want to go off the rails and give a personal message. I'm just trying to keep it in, but you know what I want to say. You know what I want to say. Over the last 2 months, I don't see this on Newsweek. I don't see it on Time. I don't see it on CNN. Well, you do see it on LALATE. I had told you the Democratic senators were going to give you a stimulus check. I told you to push for a stimulus check, and I told you to turn off those other channels because I don't own them, nor do you. And I said, hey, spend the time on the phone pushing. It started with WR, longtime viewer of this channel, who picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant, who, by the way, was part of the key people on the bipartisan infrastructure bill. So he picked up the phone, WR, and advocated for a stimulus check when I told viewers to do this 8 weeks ago. And WR got the message back for Senator Chris Coons. Yes, Senator Democrat Chris Coons will be putting a fourth stimulus check in the fourth stimulus recon. There you go. At the time, I told every viewer to pick up the phone and call every Democratic senator they could call, including Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and also Coons, because they actually put in writing they want a fourth stimulus check in there. But not a lot did. And then it changed when I told viewers 3 weeks ago, Bernie wanted to hear from you. You're going to hear later in this video, I'm going to go over what happened with brother Joshua, a longtime viewer and community volunteer to this channel, who picked up the phone and got the confirmation and also was told, we need to hear from you if you want a stimulus check. And then the floodgates open. Those floodgates are purple power. Tonight, you're going to see details like you've never seen before, because this will show you what this community of love can do. It started with Donnie. Donnie, 48 hours ago, picked up the phone and called, and he wrote this to me on Facebook. I called Bernie Sanders, and his secretary said, they're doing a fourth stimulus check. I said, this is why I need it. In my city, I need it to progress. I need it for my water and everything. I told her that, and she said, okay, they're doing a fourth. Yesterday on Evenings LA, Hurricane Tina wrote this in the comments. I called Bernie's office. I got through, and they did say they were putting another stimulus check in. It continued this morning, our morning's countdown. Carolyn Smith in the chat wrote this. I've called Bernie Sanders' office and talked to his secretary, told her what we needed. Help out. Here are people who are losing their homes and what have they gone through. She said she agrees. And Bernie's also putting a stimulus in there. And then Afternoons LA, the 1 o'clock show, Lori Silver writing, I called Bernie Sanders' office yesterday, and in a great big purple power vote for the people, and put in a big purple power vote for the people, getting help. And according to them, they're working on getting us the help we need. And wow, what about this one? Yaya talking to Ron Wyden, whose office also wants to give you a stimulus check, and he's thinking of putting SS200 in there as well. That's coming up later in this video. Boy, oh boy. So there you go. Third cluster, are you ready for some more checks? I am. Let's go to the third cluster of stimulus checks. And these are the ones, again, that the president has asked for. They're likely to get done, and there are lots of them, and they're for you. These are the ones that have not been written to bill format, that could be written at any moment. Free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for free internet, checks for farmers, checks for clean energy, checks for workers, checks for seniors alike, checks for lowering the eligibility age, checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing care. How do those checks work? How are they automated? Some of them are totally automatic. I'll explain those details, more about these third clusters of checks. Then we'll go back over to third stimulus and go over how viewers have now literally tripled the amount of money for rent and utilities and food than ever before. I'm going to show you how you get sums of money that you got before. Once again, it's not duplicative. And then we're going to cut to over to the Senate and House with that fourth stimulus. You're going to see for the first time why putting those senators last in the voting process is a big win for us. It's a huge developing detail, and it's happening tonight on Evenings LA. It's coming up after this commercial break, but first, here's a little bit about the community page, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with more checks under that fourth stimulus recon. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now from Evenings LALATE in a big evenings broadcast as we go over more about that IRS stimulus check. Then we'll be cutting to phase 3 of the stimulus checks. Lots of other checks proposed in this fourth stimulus recon, and they're getting in there because these are the checks the president wants. I'm going to go over why they're so automated and why they really help so many people across the board. Then we'll be cutting to the incredible details of this stimulus. But first, the big developing details that no one saw. An additional cash infusion for third stimulus. Boy, oh boy, it's a big night, and this is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoons, and coming up next is a whole slot of programming. We have the new programming slots going on at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11:30 at night tonight. So join me every hour on the hour with a no show every hour tonight on this channel. Subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this channel that makes history as a family together. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. So you get delivered from me to you daily, a breakdown of all the big money available under first, second, and third stimulus. Big cash infusions for you to get. And with that, let's go right into third stimulus. But first, I want to cut back to the exciting details of that incredible third cluster. Third cluster, free school meals for all checks, prescription medication checks. Some of these are totally automatic. Which ones are they? For example, the prescription medications checks will be automatic. How do they do this? They're basically going to keep money in your wallet. For example, let's say you go to the pharmacy on Monday and fill a prescription, you pay $30 out of your wallet. You take a $20 and a $10 bill out of your wallet. Well, guess what? For example, you come back a week later to refill it, and then you only take out a $10 bill out of your wallet, saving you $20. What happened? The federal government will be slashing the prices between the federal government and pharmaceutical companies so that you overnight have immediate savings on your pharmaceutical purchases. Then, how about the free internet? This is huge. They're going to give fortunes to your local cities and counties so that they can then offer you free internet. You don't have to do anything except say, hi, I live here. Can I have the username and password for the Wi-Fi? And away you go. All right, let's cut over to the exciting details of third stimulus because no one saw this coming. This is a huge one, and this is an additional $13 billion. We're going to go over rent, utility, mortgage assistance, homeowners assistance, and more. And understand, I want you to have an open mind because if you've reached out to a place before and they said, we're out of money, I got you the money now. All right, let's go over the details. First, congratulations to our new inspiration stories. We have Dee Miller, who got 18,000. Dragon, who got 33,000. She's in all the live chats. We have Lorica, who's absolutely wonderful. Swaylon, Patrice, and Jen, who got $38,000 for rent. I'm going to show you some places. I'm going to show you first 6 places to reach out to. I want you to reach out to all 6 of 6 to get this money. Number 2, I'm going to show you all the places to reach out for utilities. Number 3, I'm going to show you fascinating nonprofits that are actually working again. And then finally, I'm going to go over this new cash infusion for the federal government. All right, here we go. We're going to go over rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance. And first, I want to show you the numbers you can get. It was less than a month ago when I told you on this channel, viewers were getting $20,000 of rent. Guess what they're doing now, folks? They are getting $40,000 for rent. We have doubled the number on rent as Jen got nearly $40,000 2 days ago. Jen sent a wonderful message, which I featured earlier this week on the channel, and she is just such a wonderful person. For utilities, I introduced you to Mark about 2 weeks ago. This is Mark. Remember him? The $51,000 Mark? That's him. Well, Mark's now helping his brother-in-law, and Mark's brother-in-law got big numbers for some of these items. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities, nearly triple than where we were a month ago. We met Johnny over the weekend. He got an enormous sum, even higher than Nancy as well. For SNAP, the numbers are going bigger than ever before. Mark's brother-in-law, $21,000 for SNAP. So let's go over how you get this sums of money. Get that pen, paper, and cell phone ready. That's the only 3 things you need. Here are the 6 places you reach out to. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. Your state hall, and your state house authority. I'll say it again. City hall, city house authority. County hall, county house authority. And state hall and state house authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. Now, the difference today, as opposed to 48 hours ago, is that if you live in a city, county, or state where you've reached out to all 6 places and all 6 said, sorry, we had the money 2 months ago, we ran out. Guess what? Call them back up and say, I heard that Department of Treasury is sending out $13 billion to all the states for an additional final infusion under third stimulus. Have you gotten the money yet? No, I haven't gotten it yet. I don't know what this is yet. I haven't gotten it. Can I call you tomorrow and check on when you got it? Or can you put me on a waiting list? Absolutely try to get yourself on a waiting list or just hound the department, because when that money lands, you want to be first in line. Trust me, these people watch these deadlines of when the money comes. And as soon as it comes, you want to be first in line. All right, next. Utilities. You want to reach out to every single utility company you have. So if you have 4 or 5 utilities, reach out to all of them. Utility assistance because of COVID. Third, something new, which I haven't said on this channel in a while. If you've gotten any of these monies from this channel before, and the monies are about to expire, let's say in October, you can get another infusion of cash. You can get October to next year. So please go get extra months of these checks. All right, here's the big one. This one I'm really very, very personally excited about. It's the nonprofits. The nonprofits covered this channel through all fall 2020 and early 2021 when some cities and counties had no money. The nonprofits did. And I didn't know if they still had more cash. They do. I started detailing them 2 days ago, and one viewer the next morning said, LALATE, I made a phone call. And they said, no one's calling us for rent. We've had a lot of money for rent sitting here. I'm first in line. I think I'm going to get it. Another person about 2 hours ago in the live chat said, I did the same thing. I think I'm going to get the money for rent. I love this. So here are the 5 nonprofits. I'm going to say it twice. Here we go. Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul, United Way, Salvation Army. Again, Salvation Army, United Way, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. The huge news is that every night at 11:30 p.m., I've brought back one of the hit shows of early 2021 called Purple, Purple, with the title and this image of purple. It's about the nonprofits. And there's other nonprofits, sometimes on a state-by-state basis, I cover in that video, that also pay out the sums of money. They got the money. So reach out to them as well. They work in a different pot of money than the federal government. So this is huge. All right, let's turn to the money for SNAP. SNAP is money for food you get from the Department of Agriculture. Reach out to them. And one of the things I have to explain about this money for SNAP, because it has caused some people some confusion. Everyone's benefits were raised up because of executive orders from Trump and Biden. Those executive orders have expired. So you're getting a letter saying your raise is expiring. That's not the raise that's coming in October. The October raise is the lifetime one. How much of a raise? An average of 25%, lifetime automatically starting in October. It's incredible, great news. So how much are you getting? Well, Mark's brother-in-law is going to go from 21 to 26,000. Congratulations, Lynn and Glenn, Lynn, Glenn, and Gail, who got this money as well. If you got money for Snap, post in the live chat. And then we have the refund checks. The check coming back from your state due to overpayment of unemployment benefits. That's coming direct deposit, about 2,000 to 5,000 viewers have seen. And finally, the refund check from IRS that you paid 2020 taxes on the unemployment benefits. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it. Average payout is about $1,200 to $2,000. If you've gotten any of these sums of money for rent, utilities, food, or internet, please post your success stories in the live chat. And please, if you do see someone, this is a new message tonight. If you do see someone in any of the chats on any of the videos where they say, I reached out, they said they don't want to have any money, tell them, go call them back and say, have you gotten the $13 billion cash infusion from the federal government? Tell the viewer to do it again. It's what happened last year, where New York had money, then ran out of money, had money, then ran out of money. Same thing in California. It's confusing, but the money's coming, so you want to be first in line when the money comes. All right, with that, boy, let's turn to the exciting details of the forced stimulus recon and back to the big items, starting with, I think I should start with it. Yes, the exciting details of that IRS. Viewer after viewer told viewer all throughout the last 48 hours, yes, yes, yes. Stimulus IRS check. Let's go over all the details starting right now, but I need to back it up about 8 weeks ago to explain how we got to the spot. We got to this spot because at the time, countless Democrats had written they're giving you a forced stimulus check, but I said you still had to push. And WR, a longtime viewer of this channel, picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, and advocated for a stimulus check. COONS. You should be calling him too. And he spoke to the staffer, and Chris and WR, a longtime viewer of this channel, advocated for a stimulus check. And the staffer said, yes, Senator Chris Coons will be putting a forced stimulus check, MSC, in their IRS when it calls for a vote. Huge, world exclusive at the time. But I told you still had to pick up the phone. Early in this video, we went over the 645 pages of the reconciliation budget bill, but that's written on the House side. Is there a Senate Budget Committee? There is, and the chairman is Bernie Sanders. 3 weeks ago, he said, unlike other budget chairmen that stay within D.C., I like to get out amongst the people when I'm working on a budget bill. That means he wants to hear from you what you think he should be spending the money on. I said that was a call to action for you to pick up the phone and call. And initially, not a lot of people called. But Margaret called, Lynn Glenn, and Brother Joshua immediately called. Brother Joshua, 2020 volunteer to the community page, longtime viewer, and also Purple Hawk. He picked up the phone and advocated. What is advocacy for stimulus? Advocacy for stimulus is saying why you need it. I need a stimulus check because this is what's happened to my family. This is what happened in my community, my town, my neighborhood, my church, my immediate family. I got to tell you what's going on. This is very important. This is why I need it. That's called impassioned advocacy. Elected officials do not want to be treated like FedEx tracking or UPS tracking. When, where, how, who, when, who. No, they don't. They want to hear your personal story because they resonate to it. And that's what Brother Joshua did. Picked up the phone and advocated. And what happened? The conversation continues following. Brother Joshua was told by Bernie Sanders staffer he will be putting a monthly stimulus check in there. A check for a duration of about 3 to 6 months, about $1,000 to $1,400. Incredible, great news. But the staffer said that Senator Sanders needs your support. He needs to know that Americans want this before he proposes it. I said, pick up the phone and call and advocate because this is the guy that is very important in the equation. How important? If you've been watching his channel over the last few months, you remember that he's the guy who came up with the price of $3.5 trillion for the recon. He wanted 7. He agreed to 3.5 because he figured out it could be done at that price tag. This is his baby, and he needs to hear from you. And then you started to call. It started with Donnie 2 days ago. And Donnie picked up the phone and called and spoke to the staffer and made the advocacy very clear. I said, this is what I need. This is what my city needs. I talked about my water. I need the check to progress in my life. I told her all this, and she said they're doing a fourth. The secretary said they're doing a fourth. And then it continued thereafter as viewers continue to pick up the phone, as I said, and advocate. Hurricane Tina, I called, and they said they're putting it in there. And then today, Carolyn Smith, very, very impressive advocacy. I said, people are losing their homes. They need it. We need it. We need to be helped out. I spoke about the need, and they said Bernie is putting it in there. They talked about it, and we said he's putting it in there. And then Lori Silver, less than an hour ago in the Afternoons LA show, wrote, I called, and I put a big purple power vote for the people in there, getting it, and according to them, they're working to get us the help we need. That is the true embodiment of the purple power spirit. Now, let's go over why the voting timeline is very critical and very fascinating, and another exclusive you're only going to hear on this channel. It was about 5 weeks ago that I had told you, no, it's actually 2 months ago, that I told you that I believed that the House Democrats subcommittee would be writing the legislation, writing the actual bill. We got the confirmation again that says my reporting was accurate. The House, the first 645 pages of the reconciliation bill released, written by the House subcommittees, confirming my reporting. I had also told you about a month ago that I believe that the House will start the voting for this bill, the reconciliation substantive. I'm staying with that reporting tonight. All indications suggest that the House will be the first group to vote, which is big, because whatever's in that bill, the House is going to approve in a second. Then it goes over to the Senate. This is why it's huge, because the Senate really should go second. Let me tell you why. If it lands in the Senate second, then the Senate would do a vote-a-rama. The vote-a-rama is 2 days, and senators have two big opportunities. They're not going to remove anything a fellow Democrat put in there, but they can certainly add something new or beef up a number. Hazard pay, not enough. I want to put more money for hazard pay. The money to care for a senior, $4,000 a year, not enough. I want $6,000. They can beef up the numbers, or they can add something in. This is big because we have Bernie. We have Chris Coons, C-O-O-N-S. Have you called him? We have Ron Wyden. Have you called him? We have Elizabeth Warren. Have you called her? These are people who have put in writing they want to give you a fourth stimulus check, and they're senators. And if I'm right, they're voting last, and they have the last say to put things in at the 11th hour. This is really important. So if you have been incredible in picking up the phone and calling, call another person tomorrow. It was fascinating. Yesterday on Mornings LALATE, WR was in the live chat, and one viewer said, I'm praying for a stimulus check. WR said, there's nothing wrong with prayer, but telephoning is much better. Pick up the phone and call. And another viewer yesterday said, on Twitter said, I'm not really good on advocacy. I'm a little bit shy, but I got the strength and I made the phone call, and I felt so good after I made the phone call. Thank you for encouraging me. I love that. If you've called Bernie's office, now call Chris Coons' office. If you call Bernie's office, now call Ron Wyden's office. If you call Bernie's office, now call Elizabeth Warren's office. Get it going. It's incredible what we have done as a family. This family, this community, this channel got that second stimulus check into the second stimulus package. We made U.S. history. No one was going to give you a second stimulus check. No one, until I came up with CR for stimulus. Pushed it, you pushed it out, and it happened. Over the last 3 weeks or so, we've had to endure a lot of naysayers. And I said, we have the momentum, do it now. Pick up the phone and advocate. Viewer after viewer being told it's in there. That's not enough. Don't sit back and have other people do the work for you. These viewers, Donnie, Tina, Carolyn, and Lori, are not your UPS tracking tool. They're not your UPS tracking tool. You need to treat them as they have treated you. They have fought for you to get money, so you need to do the same thing. You need to do the advocacy that is called upon us as a community to push, because these legislators want to help you. They want to know what you want and know what you need. They need to know your story. They're in DC. They're not in the middle of the West. They're not on the West Coast. They don't see what's going on unless you tell them. They need to know what's going on with your church, your community, and advocate for it. And along the way, we've had to overcome a lot of hurdles from people who simply wanted to say stuff like, I don't see it in Newsweek. I don't see it in Forbes. I don't see it in CNET or some, whatever. I don't see it there. Who cares? In the time that you spent writing a negative comment, you could have been part of changing history. Finally, if you see someone that says something like, I've tried to get that money for rent and utilities, they said they're out of it, help them and say, make the call. The most important thing I ever remember from this channel when it comes to rent and utilities is first in time. Be the very first person. As Kevin Lee, a longtime viewer from one of my original viewers of this channel, he heard about money coming live where he was in Dallas. He made the phone call. He saw it on the local news at 4 o'clock. He made the phone call at 4:30. The money ran out in 2 days. Last year, there's a lot of times where I covered money that runs out in a few days. Not so much under forced stimulus. This money ain't going to run out overnight. But in case of this last $13 billion, please get it. Let's recap. Third stimulus. No excuses to not get this big money. It's now being cash infused. Also, the nonprofits are stepping forward. Incredible. So watch Purple tonight. I'll have more coverage about those nonprofits. Additionally, something I want to insert here is that if you need holiday gifts, get ready because the holiday gifts are now being offered from places like United Way and Salvation Army in the next few weeks, early October. They don't do it in November or December. They do it in September, October. Second, fifth stimulus. I didn't have time to cover in this video, but I covered it on Afternoons LA. They're still working on fifth stimulus. And yes, you saw that strange tweet from that strange message from Yaya. Ron Wyden wants to put SS200 in fourth stimulus, not fifth stimulus. Anything you advocate for is possible. Advocate for anything that can happen. I have no other details yet about that SS200 in fourth stimulus. Then the big news, the fourth stimulus has lots of checks. 645 checks under the fourth stimulus recon. First 645 pages released, then cluster number 2, more checks, then cluster number 3. They're going to bind all these remaining clusters, put them together, and write it for a vote, write it for a bill, and then we go to the voting process. It's heating up, and it's all because of you. I want you part of this incredible family. But coming up next is shows at this channel at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock is Sirloin, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. Some of your most informative shows from earlier this year are back. Like how to track a stimulus check, like how to get the benefits for SSI and SSDI, like how to get this nonprofit money for things even like a mortgage. Incredible informative shows back on this channel. Very easy, a new show on the hour, every hour for the rest of the night. So with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening, and stay with LA for more.